What's good with the YouTube? You already know. Fell into Men Podcast with your boy Big Flacco. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, do all the things to help support this channel, man. This channel's a little bit different. As you guys know, I have about two other channels, man. But on this channel, it's me and Toko. And what we focus on are things that could be life-changing as you head out there in the streets to change your life. Coming out from parole, coming out of recovery, or even coming off the streets, man. You're going to experience all kinds of struggles. You're going to witness great success. And you're going to also get in situations to where you may not have the tools or resources to deal with these issues, man. And we're going to talk about some of those things on this channel, and we've been talking about it. So go through our catalog and check out some of the videos. Something may be in there for you, okay? So today what I'm going to talk about is the sacrifice. Sacrificing to get where you need to be. And I'm going to use me as an example, man. I've been running the streets for a long time, man. And me on the streets, I get really off the hook. You know what I'm saying? And there was a CPS case, and my son was took at 2 years old, and I decided at that point that I needed to make some sacrifices from the usual way of how I was living. You know what I'm saying? I got honest, you know, and I went through the treatment center, did everything I was supposed to, man. And the CPS worker, I have a letter to this day, man. Maybe I'll post it. She said that I was one of the most successful parent that she's ever had, you know, which meant a whole lot to me, you know. And she wanted me to be a parent partner and help other parents, which my life got kind of busy, man. But so getting out of treatment, getting my son back, you know, I continued to follow that path though. I didn't have to do some of the things I was doing. I was still going to therapy. I was still going to meetings. I was sponsoring, man. I was doing H&I commitments. Okay, I was doing parenting classes. I was working. You know, I was even working at the time 20 hours a week because where I was at was in Santa Cruz County. There wasn't too many jobs, and I was only working part time. And you know, my check was getting garnished. I had to go through the courts to get my child support lowered at the time. You know, so I experienced a lot of struggles, man. There was times where I almost was ready to give up, man, but I stayed the course. And what I'm getting at is, you know, my life was slowly. I got to stages in my life to where I started to continue to advance. You know what I mean? And I was starting to realize who my authentic self was, you know. And by the time I had like 4 or 5 years in, is when I first started to date. You know, before that, I wasn't seeing anybody. I wasn't trying to date nobody, and I was willing to sacrifice. I wasn't. I was a selfless person instead of being a selfish person. You know, and my whole priority was about working on myself, my son, and my relationships that I had kind of severed with family and friends. You know, and I went to great lengths. There wasn't nothing that was put in front of me that I wasn't willing to do, and that was one of the most, you know, impactful, I think, tools I've learned in life is that sometimes you may not be where you want to be today, but you got to work hard to get there, and don't give up. Stay the course, and that will forever stay in my mind is the achievements that I achieved. I mean, I did everything from like being picked as a head speaker for the parents, you know, at a graduation ceremony. You know, I was involved in helping at the school. I was playing Santa Claus, you know, for the, you know, all the little kids and stuff. I never was able to do these things before because I was a criminal. I was in prison or I was running the streets. Now I'm making all these changes, you know, going to PTA meetings, going to church, you know, helping people in their recovery. It was a good time in my life, you know, and everything fell into place, you know. Everything got me to where it needed to be, and I forget that sometimes, man. That, you know, the hard work and sacrifice I needed to get there, and maybe at times this is gonna be a good topic for the future because sometimes when you get 3 to 4 years, you get kind of complacent, stagnate, and you can kind of resort to old behaviors, or you can experience something that's gonna trigger something in you, man. And you know, I think a lot of this YouTube stuff at times has done that to me personally. But in the beginning, though, man, this is going to be the most important part. I think the first 2 years are really significant because how many times have we seen someone who gets out and they start to do good, they have a good job, they're staying out the mix, and next thing you know, they're back to run around in the same circles. You know, that's the kind of stuff that happens, man. And you need to put boundaries in front of you. You need to put all these things, these stumbling blocks, in front of the things that could affect you in your life. You know what I'm saying? Going to meetings and stuff. I used to do that a lot of times. Being proactive, being altruistic, helping others. You know, I never turned away from not helping anybody. You know, and that was one of my things that made me feel good that I was contributing out to society. The pandemic happened, I started doing the COVID, but it took me years to get to where I felt comfortable in my own skin and could adapt in society. And I became a little bit more quieter. You know, what I'm saying when I in the process of everything, man. But you know, it was well worth it. I got to experience things with my son that I didn't get to experience with my daughters. You know, I got to take him to school for the first time, drop him off, help him with his homework. You know, and just know that every day I was there for someone that I created. You know, and those are some of the most important things in my life that I've ever experienced, man. Like, you know, I miss those days. You know, um, you know, and sometimes we have to move on and make changes in our life. Whether those are the right choice for us or not, that's neither here nor there to be is to be determined. You know what I'm saying? I made a choice, and you know, it's been a roller coaster ride, man. Especially with this YouTube stuff. This YouTube stuff hasn't helped it out, man, by far. But what I'm trying to get at in this whole topic is, man, if you're getting out of a recovery place, if you're getting out of prison or jail, man, don't be in a rush to achieve all the goals that you have set for yourself. Focus on you. Because in prison, it's hard to focus on yourself because of the environment you're in, man. You know, and but if you can, take the initiative, especially if you go into a treatment center. You know, treatment centers I think are really important because it's the first time you can step away from all the outside issues and focus on yourself, man. And that's what needs to be done sometimes, man. And you know, you add more tools to your arsenal, to your tool belt to deal with life. You know, and always put yourself in those positions around people who have just as much to lose as you, because then you know they're going to always have your best interest at heart, and know that that means something to them. You know, you know, I've seen a lot of people come out and they do good, like I said, temporary, and it's just so easy for them to go back. And you know, you never know. You never know if you're ever going to make it back out from prison if you go back in again. You never know if you're going to ever, you know what I'm saying, make it back to recover again if you're back on dope. These are things that you have to really sit there and consider, man, before you make those choices. It's so much better, you know, living by the standards of what society may want you to live by, as opposed to being a criminal, running the streets, doing drugs, selling drugs, doing jack moves, whatever. You know, that's not the way of life, and it's not an example of being a role model to our kids. Because whether you want to believe it or not, you are a role model to your child. If you have kids and you're in their life a little bit, they are forever indebted to their feelings for you. Remember that. Never take that too lightly, man. You know what I'm saying? They will always be looking for a role model. And you need to fill that void. Because that's how kids go out there and they start messing up, because they start to feel that void, man. And, you know, it's bad enough that, you know, we can fuck up our own lives at times, right? But when we have kids, man, we got to think how they feel about things, man. And always take into consideration our choices have to be in the best interest of them. But they have to be for you first and foremost. You know, if you can't take care of yourself, if you can't get your own shit straight, then you're no good to anybody. So this is just a basic topic, man, for those that are coming out, man, that be willing to sacrifice. Don't be willing to rush to obtain all the things that you think you have to have now. Because if you do that, you're only going to be on borrowed time. And the main goal once you change your life is longevity. Because with longevity, you're gonna reap the gifts and rewards that come with doing the right things. Anyways, check out our catalog. We got a whole bunch of different spills. I mean, this one's a little short one. I'm gonna be dropping a whole bunch of different ones this week, man. A little short, little 10, 12 minute ones, and things that I hope that could be inspirational to help people, man. And maybe I think it can help me, man. I've had a lot of shit going on in my life right now, man. That you know, I think I'm gonna address some of those topics without putting out my personal business out there. But yeah, most definitely, man. This is it'd be very inspiring for people just to sit there and see the change. There's no other feeling than helping someone else and seeing them have the gratitude towards that. Remember that, man. So when you're feeling down, you're experiencing this, your life's not going where you want, understand you have to sacrifice. And if it's bugging you that much, go out there and do a good deed for somebody. You'll feel better. With that said, it's your boy Flacco. I'm gone.